Move forward to our next fireside chat featuring another stalwart of a leader. And this is where we will be focusing on seamless banking for the next billion customers. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening we have the august presence of none other than Shri C.S. Setty, Chairman, State Bank of India. So thank you very much, sir, first up for joining us this evening and joining us at the Global Fintech Fest 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, all the ones who are still seated right behind, I'm going to request you to continue taking your seats as we're about to march ahead to our next session right away. So I'd like to request you all to please take your seats. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, to spearhead the session, we have with us Mr. Amol Dethe, editor, ETBFSI and ETCFO, the Economic Times, Times Internet Limited. We have a leader who brings with him a wealth of experience with an illustrious career in the banking sector. We have with us none other than Shri C.S. Setty, Chairman, State Bank of India. Let's have a huge round of applause. Please help me welcome Shri C.S. Setty, sir, on stage. And thank you, Amol, for joining us. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be back on this stage with a big man at the big festival. And I'm really lucky and glad, and it's a pleasure to be here because I think Setty sirs are the new chairman of SBI. This is going to be the first public session. So I'm really glad. And let's have a round of applause for the, and congratulations for the new chairmanship that he's having. To begin with, I have dozens of questions, but the time is limited because you are the bank which is actually serving, one of your DMD said that 1/3 of India. So to begin with, let me ask, since we are at a fintech and fintech has created remarkable innovation, sir, which app do you use to make payments?
I only use one, that is YONO. Huh? there is absolutely, there is no need for any other thing.
So that's the motivation. So, sir, to begin with, let me try to unleash your vision specifically for the digital. What kind of roadmap do you see for SBI maybe in next 3 to 5 years? Because the kind of infrastructure which the banks needs to build now, because many rails are going to be there, and you have to offer different services to different set of customers. So how would you like to share your digital vision of SBI?
So the digital transformation roadmap for SBI is a 5-year roadmap. I think this, the 5-year roadmap has different elements. It's not only about digital as a front end. We are focusing more on the technology and technological resilience. And you invest in data architecture, revisit your infrastructure, network. And what we are focusing now is essentially the customer omni-channel focus. A customer who's a branch customer can seamlessly move to, and from there to internet banking. But this requires absolute deeper re-orchestration of the IT platform. And this is what we have undertaken under 2.0. It's not only about the customer journeys, it's about technological resilience in terms of scalability, in terms of the robustness, resilience, and more importantly, cybersecurity stance. I think all of these elements are combined. And in our digital transformation roadmap, we are also looking at a large-scale adoption of marketing technology, MarTech, what they say. This would help us, combined with our ability, our prowess, which we developed in AI/ML, to make hyper-personalized offers. I think hyper-personalization offers not only in terms of the retail personal, we are looking at even other segments, the bottom of the pyramid, financial inclusion segment, agriculture, MSME, what kind of personalization can be done. We have a rich database of our customers. And our digital transformation is also focusing on the new-to-bank customers. So far, I think most of our digital mobile offerings were aimed at our existing-to-bank customers. But we are triangulating the data sets which are available from the market and developing new to bank offerings, the ecosystem like account aggregator, all of them are helping in terms of devising this digital transformation.
Thanks for highlighting, maybe your vision on the digital transformation. You mentioned SBI, I will come back to you very quickly, but we have a large number of people here specifically from the fintechs, and I would like you to tell them and maybe focus more on what is SBI's strategy specifically for the fintech or the fintech adoption, because you also have a lot of big techs and tech players working with you. But if I'm not wrong, there are at least maybe minimum 24 fintechs operating with you. So what is your strategy specifically for the fintech adoption, collaborations, partnering with them? How's it?
So our engagement with fintech has been for many years. It's not about a couple of years or 3 years or anything to related to YONO. Even before YONO talked about our engagement with the startups and the fintechs was always there. What we have done is that we wanted to have a structured and formal engagement. When fintechs come to a larger organization, they get lost. How do they deal with, which department to deal with, whether they should go to IT, or they should go to digital, or they have to go to the business units. So what we have done is that we made one single point of contact in the digital department, digital transformation department. And we have identified certain categories of use cases which we want to. I don't call it use cases, but basically where fintechs are strong in. Those 12 categories, we asked the people to come and empanel with us. Once they empanel, they don't have to really participate in any RFP or something. These 12 categories range from digital documentation to payment space and varied things. And we keep adding to these categories. And I definitely request all the fintechs who are there, we do this process every half year. Yes. And if anybody can visit our website and see the notification, and they can make the online application. And we request them, if we find that they have the scalability and the solution which we desire, we call them and ask them to make a presentation to the team of people. Okay. And this team includes both technology, digital, as well as business teams, so that they don't have to go around various departments. I think this is one major initiative what we have started. We started empaneling them. I think a large number of people have participated in this process. I definitely request them to make use of this.
I'm sure the moment the session is over, they will come and meet you, and also the team from the SBI for sure, certainly. But sir, what kind of business value do you see specifically the fintechs are going to create with you? Will they remain where they are, or will you also invest them, handhold them, and perhaps take you to a different level? Because the challenge that I see with a lot of fintechs is even they partner with the big banks. How to generate a value for themselves is also a big question, because there are very limited ways from where they can generate a business value for themselves.
I think the value which SBI brings is the scale. And in terms of the capital, obviously fintechs look for capital. The policy definition of fintech engagement with us is that suppose we onboard a fintech, we also make a reference to our private equity wing. Okay. We have a private equity wing, and they can independently look at the business of that fintech. We don't normally do seed funding or early stage funding. Generally, we join at the later stage. So these referrals are helpful in terms of getting the finance also. I mean, capital from the private equity wing of SBI.
Yeah, that's very motivating. So let me now shift your focus to only one, which you use for all your payments and the digital needs. In what stage the SBI YONO is, and if you could, highlight some of the features maybe for the audience at large to understand how the SBI YONO 2 will shape up.
Yeah, I think one thing we should realize that while we are, is a deeper technological transformation which is happening in YONO 2.0. It is not about just tweaking the journeys of YONO 1.0 and calling it YONO 2.0. YONO 1.0 itself is so robust and has got several journeys for the customers. Right. But what we are looking at is a complete transformation of this app. Obviously, this app is about 5 to 6 years old. And while the design elements will remain, and we are focusing more on the stability, scalability, and robustness of the application, and which actually entails deeper technological transformation. The second important feature of YONO 2.0, I think we have several times we mentioned this, that we would like to create an omni-channel experience. It is just not about the mobile application. We want to revamp our internet banking, which is very, very strongly acceptable to the customers now. We want to refresh our branch application. And we have large number of feet on street now. The people who sell home loans and car loans, how do we integrate them with these journeys? Okay. So this channel, what we call omni-channel experience, is something what we are going to provide under the YONO 2.0. And one important feature in this transformation project is the customer can start with any of the channels, and you can drop off anywhere and then start anywhere else. And if he is not able to complete on the digital channels, he can even go to the branch and complete the journey. Right. Or start the journey at the branch and then complete the journey on the mobile application. I think this omni-channel experience is what we are looking for. And we aim to we have identified some of the frequently used services by the customers, and those services will move into the phase 1. Sometime during November, hopefully we will be able to launch under the closed user group and then eventually to the public.
Sure. So, friends, stay tuned to November, maybe when SBI YONO 2 will be there in the Play Store. So a couple of thoughts, in one go. When we talk about, seamless banking specifically for the billions, and when you talk about YONO 2 and, reaching out to billions of customers, what kinds of infrastructure changes that you will have to go through or build specifically in your company, in your bank? And also, are we focusing more now on app-based banking, which is maybe a 5-inch smartphone than the 2,000 square feet of a, branch? Will we focus less on the expanding branches, increasing headcount, and focus more on digital, which is absolutely app? So just tell us on that front, sir.
SBI is a microcosm of India. It is as diversified as the country. We have 50 crore plus customers, unique customers, and the diversified customer base requires presence across the channels. I think the physical channel is also equally important for us. We have 22,500 branches in the nook and corner of the country, and they provide the comfort of anybody who is not able to consume these digital services to come into the branch and use the services, number one. Number two, we also, in our portfolio of customers, the new gen customers, Gen Z customers who actually digital natives. And for them also we have, we are able to onboard them directly on digital channels. But this also requires, as I said, a significant investment. The volumes are unimaginable volumes what State Bank of India handles. Today, our transaction per second is almost 25,000 to 30,000, and we handle almost 33 to 35% of UPI volumes. So, to seamlessly provide this customer service across our touch points, whether it is a branch channel, it is a mobile channel, ATM channel, we have very strong business correspondent channel which service the financial inclusion customers, Jan Dhan customers, around 14 crore customers of Jan Dhan. Right. Incidentally, we just completed 10 years of Jan Dhan day before. So I think these varied and diversified segments of customers requires all channels. And we are committed to provide services across them.
Okay. So one important question, sir, the stock of the bank has skyrocketed in last 1 year, more than 20%, and people look at the shareholders' value. So when you are investing so much specifically into technology now, and we are seeing SBI YONO will have so many features, what kind of business value it will generate for your business? And how do you see the business specifically coming from YONO?
The digital channels contribute a significant amount of our retail personal loans. Much of our unsecured lending is, whether it's a pre-approved personal loan or your express credit, which is our major product, is largely digital. And the home loans is something what the acquisition of home loans is completely going digital now. Except the documentation, probably we will have end-to-end digitalization of the home loans. I think it is not only on the asset side, we need to look at the liabilities side also. Today, the largest number of savings bank accounts are opened on the digital channels now, either using video KYC or any other mode. Our assessment in terms of technological investment is the return on investment is obviously is one of the factors which we look at. The only thing what we don't compromise on the cybersecurity part. We don't look at ROI there. The customer protection and protection of the banking infrastructure is more important for us. Today, last year, I think we did about 1.2 trillion personal loans on the mobile application itself. So obviously, I think the potential of doing digitalization and this also is a move towards customer convenience as also a commitment to the reduction of carbon footprint, what we aim at.
Sure. I mean, a lot of transactions are happening on SBI. By any chance, have you received any call that ki transaction fail ho gaya hai and paise return nahi aaye hai? What is your strategy then? Have you called your DMDs, MDs, CTOs? Oh, has anything happened like that by any chance?
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, it did not happen to me, but I think what we have strengthened, obviously, I can see, Amol, where you are coming from. This is one area of customer complaints across the banking system. Somebody uses the ATM and the money is not dispensed. We have today 24/7 customer complaint resolution. Okay. And as against 7-day resolution of RBI, we are able to resolve the complaints within 3 days. Okay. And restore the money to the customer in case if it is wrongfully, the transaction has not gone through and this account is debited. So a lot of effort is being made in terms of addressing the customer grievances across the channels.
So, sir, AI, and obviously I learned a lot specifically on the digital transformation, but AI and Gen AI are the flavor of the season and everybody is talking about it. What is your view specifically on the AI and Gen AI? Do you think that is really adding value to your businesses, or it's maybe a hype, or maybe it will just be there and not add more value but a flavor of the season? What is your view on that?
So as far as AI is concerned, we've been widely using AI for quite some time. We have most of the, even before people started talking about digital lending, probably we were the first one to have AI ML based lending models on the pre-approved personal loan. We use extensively the AI not only in terms of the lending, we use for fraud management, our proactive risk management, in our KYC, AML, the wide utilization of AI is there across that. And our approach to AI is essentially the enterprise level AI. We don't look at each use case. We want to have enterprise-wide adoption of the AI. As far as Gen AI is concerned, I think it is too early to say that what would be the commercial impact of Gen AI in the BFSI space particularly. Essentially, the first use case seems to be knowledge-based, like internal knowledge, how easily we make it available to our employees for efficient delivery of their services. That is one major use case we are looking for.
So I have one or two more questions, but I will take one important question specifically from the traditional side of business, apart from the digital, which is the headline story of these days is a CD ratio, right? The deposits are going down, the banks are trying their best to increase the interest rates and garner more customers. First of all, what is your view specifically on the current situation of deposit mobilization? Do you see it has been reduced significantly? What are your strategies maybe to attract the customers to your bank and maybe improve your CD ratio?
No, fortunately, we have very comfortable CD ratio. We are not under pressure in terms of reducing our CD ratio. We have robust credit growth, obviously, 14 to 16% credit growth is what we are anticipating. Deposits, even if we have 8 to 10% deposit growth in SBI, because of the large base, in absolute numbers, it will be larger than the absolute amount of credit. It is a fact that the changed asset allocation among the customers, some moment of investable surplus is going to other asset classes. So obviously, the increased credit growth and the diversion of some of this savings to other asset classes is putting pressure on the deposit growth of the banks. But what I notice is that most of the banks, including us, we are not getting into a rate war. We want to attract the customers by way of improved service quality or improved access. Some of the banks started opening the new branches. I think everybody is looking at how do we get more value out of the existing customer and also attract the new customer by offering better quality service. I think that is what the focus is. Essentially, there would be some tweaking in the interest rate, particularly 1 to 2 year bucket, which is the most popular one. The competition for deposits is likely to continue for some time.
Okay. And the credit growth, sir, obviously the story with the private banks and other banks is very different specifically from the SBI. But if you look at the large corporates or specifically the private capex, it has not picked up very significantly in last couple of years actually. Do you see it picking up now? Because now we have a lot of numbers which are telling the macro story of India quite positively. Do you see that is happening? What are you hearing from the large customers that you have?
The large customers have capital expenditure plans. Much of the brownfield expansion is, as I think we repeatedly mentioned this, we are measuring the private capital expenditure by corporate credit growth. Corporate growth is reasonably good. In fact, if you see corporate growth, the last quarter we have had almost 15 to 16%. But more than that, what we need to understand is that the brownfield expansion is being met by their own cash, which they have accumulated over a period of time. I think once they consume, the credit drawals will start. We have the sanctioned and approved under disbursement loan almost amounting to 4 trillion rupees. So if this is an indication of capital expenditure, I think it's a robust indication in my view. And whenever we talk to people, at least on some of the sectors, even some of the core sectors, people are started talking about expansion now. The renewables are doing pretty well and roads are doing well. I'm sure the corporate private capital expenditure will come back.
Okay. Noted your point, sir. My last question, I think the time is slightly limited in two parts. One is we are at the Fintech event and large number of Fintechs are here. One, what do you like the most about Fintechs, your view? And second, how do you see the Fintechs will generate more value going ahead? Because we have thousands of Fintechs, dozens of them are already unicorns, they have built good value, but still profitability, sustainability is a concern. So what is your view? Maybe what kind of value do you see creating them maybe in next 2 to 3 years?
The good thing about fintech ecosystem is that they are actually reshaping the way we do business. I think extreme customer convenience focused approach is something which made even the conventional players to reimagine the customer journeys. For instance, itself is an example. I keep saying that we are the largest fintech. We aligned the way we do business looking at the fintech environment. That's definitely the good thing, and their agility to deliver is also definitely a big factor. But one suggestion I would definitely make them is the scalability has to be brought in. Any solution what you do, it should be amenable to be scaled up, and your ability to work with the legacy IT infrastructure is also important. When you come to a large player like SBI, Obviously, we are we have invested in this technology over a period of time, and they should have the patience and the caliber to work with large players with a very intricate IT systems. I think that is one definite advice I give. You need to be patient. The other thing what you mentioned in terms of the future of fintech ecosystem is fabulous here, and from a collaborative approach, probably we may even go for deeper integration with fintechs. Some of the services which banks are providing on their own are solutions which we are devising on our own. We may use their services. We already started using many of the software as a service. There's a huge potential for them.
Sure, sir. Noted your points. It was quite enriching. Thank you so much for listening to us very patiently. Wish I could have taken more questions and perhaps questions from you, but the time is limited. And once again, sir, congratulations for your new inning. All the best. And thank you so much for, giving enlightening thoughts to the audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Amol. Thank you very much.